Hi, my name is Paul Miller, and I'm the owner of Lehigh Valley Martial Arts and Active Learning Centers in Allentown, Pennsylvania. We have 3 locations, kind of, more like 5, but
5 businesses.
and 5 businesses, exactly. So we are we teach Kyokushin Karate, Chia Chun Dao, Kung Fu, and Tai Chi. Our main business model is we have a child care as well as a martial arts school. It's kind of an interesting combination, similar to the transport after school program. However, we have children from age 6 months all the way up to 14 years old. We tried the transport after school program just as it was and didn't work out very well. We changed it around and are doing quite well. We have about 500 traditional students, and in addition to that, we have our after-school program. Had their kids come into their martial arts program, do their homework, and are all taken care of by the time mom and dad pick them up.
Improvement results last 12, 18 months?
Well, my goal this year was a 30% improvement over last year, which was 100% over the year before. So, but this month to date, we're 70% over last year. So we're very excited about the growth, the changes that.
So you're up 70% this year over last year.
70%.
Well, did everybody get that number?
Yeah. When I met Master Oliver, I'll never forget this. Met him down in Philadelphia with my son, and we were sitting there, and he looked at me and he said, "You threw the baby out with the bathwater," and that was because I already knew that systems and had experience in systems of martial arts before, but I threw them all away because I was somewhat disgruntled with the group that I was with before. Only it wasn't the systems that were the problem, it was just the particular individuals that were in the system. So we went around and round, and finally we actually listened to him and started doing things, and the growth started happening almost immediately. So now, since we went to Washington at our last event,
you had like 15 staff members there, didn't you?
We had a lot of staff members there, and everyone was very, very impressed with the way that the systems worked. We don't really care much about the martial arts part of it, but because everyone has their own thing. But we were very, very impressed. Since that time, we've added 3 different new systems that we never did before, and it's been exceptional for the results.
And by the way, when you're talking about 70% improvement, this was not a small organization to begin with, right? I've told the story. I'm not sure you've ever heard it, but I've told the story of going to Philadelphia and doing a seminar, and it was a very last-minute thing. We had, I think, 4 people there. You were there, weren't you? Weren't you? Yeah. Who else was there that was already? I forget who else. But basically, there was Paul, his son, another couple, and a couple of other people who were members. And it was the story that I've told, the way I've told it. Correct me if I misstate it, but it was basically 4 or 5 hours. Paul can't see very well, but his son was there. So Paul kept whacking his son to take faster notes, and got out the recorder and was trying to record thing, asking me if it was okay, one thing or another. And he was doing about $3 million a year. Is that right?
That's correct.
So he was doing about $3 million a year. The other couple over here was doing $12,000 a month. Okay. Now the couple doing $12,000 a month were doing Taekwondo, character development for kids. Couldn't figure out how to make that work, so they added boxing, kickboxing, MMA, something else I forget, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and transport after school care, all as separate independent programs. Cumulatively, they were doing $12,000 a month. Okay? Now, this is Philadelphia. They argued with me for 3 hours straight. To the point, Toby luckily was with me. I said, Toby, come here. Take these two assholes into the other room, and I don't care what you do with them, but get them the hell out of the room. Literally, right? And so we predicated it nicely, but I told them, well, we have an opportunity because you guys are kind of doing different things, so you're going to go work with him. And Toby's like, thanks a lot for that. Well, I'll buy you a steak. You know, I'll make it up to you. But the way I've told the story is here's these guys who have 6 programs, cumulatively doing $12,000 a month, who told me everything I told them wouldn't work. And they argued price point, they argued systems. Nobody in Philadelphia will do that. You don't understand. Our students won't do that. That was his constant. Our students won't do that. Nobody in our area will do that. Our students won't do that. And he's over here already doing $3 million a year going, I can't write fast enough. What the hell? Is that a fair analysis?
Oh, absolutely. The interesting part about it is that they literally had an answer for everything, and they were just not listening at all. I really felt bad for Toby. But afterwards, my son said to me, he says, oh my God, I couldn't take it much longer. You know? But it's been very, very interesting, and we're looking forward to another year of solid growth. We still have a lot of work to do. We've added programs into our child care program that were suggested by Master Oliver too, and we're excited to see how those things pan out. But I have no doubt that they'll work.
Oh yeah, they're basically overlaying non-martial arts related upgrade options for the kids in child care, right? So I think we mentioned it yesterday, but you're now doing Spanish immersion.
Spanish immersion,
and
yes.
Technology.
And technology as well as music and theater.
Yeah. So if you're a parent paying $600 a month for after-school child care, and the school now says to you, we can do full immersion second language education for your child as well, for your 7-year-old. How valuable is that to you? Very valuable, right? And you can layer on what would be the things that would be valuable. You know, certainly a second language education, Spanish, or he said Mandarin, but full immersion second language education, full immersion early technology, you know, computers. You could do a music track, you could do a dance track. I mean, think of the things that the parents would, especially the soccer mom in a Range Rover. I mean, this is Allentown, so they're mostly driving a Kia. But think of that mom. Biggest issue they have, is it money or is it time? It's time. So now I go to work all day, pick the child up at 5:15. She wants to do violin, and I have to rush her to violin lessons. And then she wants to do dance, and I have to rush over to dance lessons. What if you could get all that stuff done, all in their program at that time? How much of a premium is it worth to her to pay them to do it rather than her to have to run them all over the place the rest of the evening?
Absolutely. One of the biggest things I can suggest to anyone else that's out there is that, you know, when we met Master Oliver, we were really treating our martial arts program as a hobby. You know, I'm just going to suggest that you don't do that. You know, treat it like a business. You know, we were treating the child care like a business and making a lot of money. Now we're treating them both as a business and making a lot more money.
And have better students.
And have better students, exactly.
What was the rough gross again now, this year?
This year, about last year was $4 million. This year we're doing about $4.3 million this year. Oh yeah, it's happy troubles, you know. So, but you know, the cool thing is that we now use the martial arts, marketing, stuff like that. We use that for the child care as well.
Yeah.
So it also helps to improve both businesses.
Well, and you have the same problem ultimately across locations that they have in the Krav School, is you have a capacity issue, right? So
Yes.
So now you were telling me you're at what, 183 out of a capacity of 187 or something like that at one
That is
location?
correct. Well, we're actually up at we're at 199, and our capacity is 201.
Okay.
For that one, and all of our locations are fairly large. We have one that's 10,000, one that's 11,000, one that's 6,000, one that's a little over 2,000. That just houses little babies. And then we have 2 charter schools that we are in as well, doing both programs. And now we're looking at a new 10,000 square foot location.
Yeah.
And those are regulatory capacity constraints, not staffing.
That they're regulatory. There's no options.
How many kids per
on that.
square foot?
Yeah.
And so if you have a capacity issue, what's the only way to solve that?
Raise the prices.
Yeah, and you can raise the price one of 2 ways. You can get yourself to the point you have a waiting list, and then you can just keep ratcheting it up to the point you start having a negative, effect on the demand. But that's okay as you keep turning up the price. What you're looking for is maintaining or improving the top line while reducing or keeping static the expenses, right? See, so many people escalate the expenses while they're escalating the top line, and all they get is a bigger, more complicated thing to deal with, which isn't useful. The other way you can do it is to take the same students, and it's comparable for what they've been getting, but then overlay things that some percentage of them will want, right? I always like the keep it simple, stupid method, which is what Buddy's going to show us here, but what the Sterling number was, 87% of them all want to do this next new thing, and the next new thing is double the price. I mean, that's the simple way. But the other way is, in that business, is what are the things that out of 200 kids, could you have 30 doing violin lessons at $200 a month, and could you have 75 who want to do intensive full immersion language lessons and so forth? So what are the other types of components that those same people would want? And you've got them there physically anyway. All you have to do is manage who teaches this stuff, because we got to go hire a technician. And by the way, is it expensive to get a language teacher or a violin teacher or a music teacher? No, they're all used to being broke artists, right?